Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Redline Specialist Cars, Highland Whiskey Clan, one-to-one boxing gyms, and the Glove Box Management. BUI Promoter of the Year, Jay Byrne. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey Johnny, how are you?
I'm all right. And first of all, congratulations. First year as a promoter, and you get Promoter of the Year. Not bad, my friend.
Yeah, it was something I set out for when we got going. I said it was something I'd love to get.
Well, I mean, you're playing it down, but it's a great award to get. And you went into this completely blind as a promoter. You've tried your best and did exactly what you said you were going to do, which is put on very good 50-50 fights. And the shows are flourishing, mate. You've done incredibly well. So well done.
Yeah, it was a good first year. It was, yeah. Second year hasn't been as busy, but I have some plans in place and things like that. It's just it's been a few things kind of haven't gone our way this year, so we're looking to have a busier end to the year.
Well, listen, last time out, a fantastic national stadium, sold out, live on the zone. Um, you had a great night. It was a superb night. I was there. The boxing was great. The atmosphere was great. The coverage was great. You must have been really pleased with that show.
Yeah, it was very good. It was the best one to date now, I have to say. Really enjoyable. So, there was ups and downs in the night. Obviously, some of our fighters were beaten. Glenn had a draw. Some of our fighters won. It was, but overall, I always say it's just about progressing and just seeing the levels go up. And I felt that night we brought a different level. I've seen an awful lot of things that need to change, and I've already got them implemented because we will be going back there in October. So in October, I feel it'll be a better show and it'll be a bigger show.
Well, I for one enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show, and comparing it to the UK shows, I'd say it's right up there on the levels of probably GBM, who have been doing it 2 or 3 years. So you've done incredibly well, mate, to get where you are, and keep at it because you've got another big night out on the 21st of June in Belfast, the Devonish complex. Tell me about this show because it looks a good one.
Yeah, it's a nice little card to just to keep ticking over, and wanted to get John as homecoming. Obviously, we couldn't do it in February, so we said we'd go back. So we're going there June 21st. It's like everything in boxing. I think if you stuck a DAZN stamp on it or a Sky Sports stamp on it, you'd have no issues at all. But again, the easiest show I've ran was the stadium show, was the big show
Yeah.
out of 8 shows. It was the easiest to do. It just seems to be when you go to the small shows, people find ways of pulling out them. They find reasons to pull off, or don't get me wrong, there's genuine. We've had two lads pull off the show, and they're genuine reasons. But I just feel when you're running smaller shows, it always seems to be lads pull off show. Like the stadium show, we announced the card. People were on the card. There was never one injury. There was never one issue. Everyone was on. Everyone stayed on. Everyone done their tickets, what they're supposed to do, and there was no hiccups whatsoever. And I just feel when you go back to the small show, it's back to the same headaches that you get on the that we had all of last year. So John Boyd was supposed to fight Sean Murray. Sean Murray has a medical issue. It's a serious medical issue. He had it before. He got it treated. It didn't fix the issue, so he used to go back in. He used to go under the knife. So again, a genuine issue that couldn't be helped. And I wish him all the best in his recovery. Sean will be back in October. A big fight for him in October. And then Owen O'Neill
I
has
was going to
gone
say, have
ahead.
you got a replacement though to fight John? Have you?
Yeah, I haven't confirmed it with his team yet, but I'm in talks with a decent name opponent for him.
Okay.
That should hopefully be all boxed off today and released today.
Well, that'll be good news because John Boyd, of course, is a star up and coming, and he's got a great future, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'd like John now to kick on. I want John to. The plan was John and Sean would go head to head over 8 rounds in the Devonish, and then the winner would fight Richie O'Leary potentially for a Celtic title on October in the stadium. And the winner of that, then I would like to go and fight for the Irish title, on our next event. So
Yeah.
the way it is now, it's still the same for John. If John wins, I've already spoke to Richie's team. Richie's team are happy. John's team are happy. So coming through this fight, John will then fight on October in the National Stadium on for the Celtic title.
Oh, that's great progress, and he's a proper talent, isn't he, John?
I've great I've great faith in John. I think I just think he has the pack. I think he has the whole lot. Again, he hasn't been tested yet.
Yeah,
And the likes of Richie and the likes of Sean. I know Sean was very confident to fight John. John is the slick southpaw that nobody wants to fight. These slick southpaws, but he hasn't been tested. Can he take pressure? Can he take a punch? Blah blah blah. All them questions have to be asked of him. And I'm sure Richie, after beating Sean in the National Stadium and had a tremendous fight with Jordan Granham in the warehouse,
yeah.
will be saying, oh, I fancy myself against him. So once John comes through June 21st, it'll be an 8 rounder in October in the National Stadium for the Celtic title. And as I said, the winner of that then may fight for the Irish title just before Christmas. If not, it'll be our first show after Christmas.
Well, there's a lot of good names and a lot of nice prospects on there, but one stands out is Barry McReynolds, trained over in the Holy Trinity, hotly tipped by Anthony Cacace to be the next big thing. He's out on your show, isn't he?
Yeah, Barry made his debut on our show, and he's supposed to have his second fight on our show in February. I have a good relationship with Barry, and I have a good relationship with Barry's manager, Paul. Um, yeah, he looks a talent. He looks aggressive. He just looks a talent. He looks like he has the whole lot. But one thing I'd say about Barry is people need to get behind him because he's a lovely kid. He has no ego. He's just a good kid. He's well mannered, just a really good kid, trains hard, and he's entertaining. He should have a big fan base building behind him, and being a part of Anto's team and things like that will obviously help, and that will help him grow his stature because I do see Belfast having a little hidden star there.
Yeah, and I mean he's in there with Barry O'Neill and Michael Hawkins Senior and
Oh my God,
Junior.
yeah.
They know everything there is to do about boxing, and like you say, he's heavy-handed. He's exciting to watch, isn't he? Even at this early stage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is, and it's already people are saying, "Hey, we don't trying to get matches for him." It's a little bit not no one said just one or two that would be accepted, but he's not really. He's going to find it hard to be matched if he keeps going the way he's going. But again, he's a good kid. The most important thing is Johnny's a good kid. He
Yeah.
deserves a bit of backup. He deserves a bit of support, and we'll help him in any way we can.
Pull out a couple more that are on the show that are exciting. I quite like Owen O'Neill. Is he still
Owen
fighting?
O'Neill is off the card.
He's off.
Pulled off the card. He's got what he said was an opportunity of a lifetime for another fight. I know the fight it is. So no issues my end. Another lovely kid as well. Really, I spoke to him a few times over the years. He's a lovely kid, and
Yeah, he is.
he's got a big opportunity for himself there. So he's accepting that. I think it's just they're just dotting the i's and crossing the t's at the minute on that one, and that'll be announced soon as well.
Well, fair play as a promoter. That's it's good to hear that you're not restricting and helping the talent grow. Cathal McLaughlin, is he playing? Is he still out?
Cottle is out. Yeah, it'd be good to see Cottle come back. He's supposed to be on the February card, and obviously got cancelled. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, Cottle's doing well. I believe his tickets are selling. I was on to him the other day. He said, yeah, he's selling well. His tickets are going well and things like that. So he's a lovely kid as well. He's a good kid. I feel um, he'll grow in the sport. I think he just needs a bit of activity. But I
Yeah.
know there's a plan for him to get activity. I know there is a plan for him to be busy now throughout the next few months. I know Jason has plans for him as well.
And a guy that was really good in April in Dublin was Glenn Lynch. He's fighting, isn't he?
Yeah, Glenn is Dublin lad again. But Glenn just wants activity, and he one of his coach reached out to me and just asked about being on the card, and I said, yeah, look, no problem at all. And I've actually got Jordan Graham in for him, so it'll be a bit of a test for him
Oh, that's a test.
because Jordan is big, and Jordan turns up when he's dangerous. He knows how to box, he knows how to play the game, Jordan. But some nights Jordan just turns up and says, "Ah, tonight's my night," and when he says that, it can be a big problem. So we've seen him. He's been over on a couple of our events, and he's caused questions to a
Yeah.
few of our guys. So let's look forward to that one. That should be a good fight. Glenn is a really good kid as well, really professional guy as well. Great to work with.
Tell us about a couple that we maybe don't know about over here in the UK.
Um, Bernardo Marion.
Okay.
I watched him for the first time. He was boxing on a show there. It was Hammer Promotions, Paddy McCrory show,
Right.
and he looked really good. He looked really, really good. He knocked a guy out. He took a guy out. your man Nassim Ali from
Yeah,
the UK.
yeah,
Um, like he's only been stopped 8 times in 145 fights,
yeah. He has. He's
and uh,
crazy.
well, he was taken out in 2.5 minutes in Belfast. So I would see, he's an exciting prospect. I think bit of activity again, and I think he's going to be an exciting prospect. Bernardo,
And is it
Lateo, or Bayo Alabi, my guy who made his debut in the National Stadium.
well? What a superstar this guy is in the making. He's got everything. He's got the ring walk.
Yeah,
He's got the fan base, and he's got the moves, isn't he?
yeah, I like Bayo. He comes across like what you just said. Everyone says that about him. He's a bit of this and he's a bit of that, and the whole. He's a lovely kid. He's a lovely kid. He's as honest as a day is long, and he's a polite. He's pleasant. We talk to him regularly, and everything is, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. He's a really nice kid, and look, he hasn't got an easy night's work because he's in with Angel Gomez, and he just beat a prospect in his last fight.
Yeah, Angel Gomez is a problem for any fighter if they're not on their game.
Yeah, well, and he's had to win his last fight. That's the thing. And he didn't just win the fight in a close. He won a 40-36.
Yeah, he did.
So he got to be on his game for that. You got to make sure he's on his game and make sure he's ready for that because it's another test. But again, it's a test that he wants and it's a test that he needs. So, no, good kid. I look forward to that one. Callum Bradley is on the card as well.
Okay.
That's Tiernan's younger brother. Callum is 6-0. He is, he's a talent. He's a really nice kid. He's been through the likes of the Jake Pollards, the Stefan Nikolais, and that. We're just trying to get him the right opponent now. And again, he's only back after a 4-year layoff. He boxed Jake Pollard in February, but it's time now. I think the lads just want to get him active now and keep him moving. So
Yeah.
we're looking to try to get the right opponent for him now and lock that in and have that sorted out hopefully in the next week or so.
Listen, I'm really looking forward to this card because every single time I come over to you, and I think I've only missed one of your shows, I think that the standard gets better, the matchups get better, the crowds are getting, well, they're always full, pretty much. These shows are great, great shows, Jay. And you say you're going back to the National Stadium in October, is that right?
Yeah, it's at the minute it's booked in as Friday, October 10th. However, the venue and ourselves are trying to get a change to October 11th. The venue are just trying to see if they can get the 11th freed for us because we feel a Saturday will do better than the National Stadium.
Yeah.
Getting into the centre of Dublin on Friday evening can be a bit of a headache. But again, it is booked in. It's October 10th/11th. And potential matchups have started on that card. Like I think I've 5 domestics agreed for that card.
Yeah.
I want to go bigger than the last one.
Wow. Well, the
I want to
last
go
one was
bigger than the last one.
spectacular. The last one was a great.
Yeah, that's it. I want to go bigger than the last one. I want to go. The production will be very much the same, maybe a bit better. There's a few things I want to tidy up on as well, and I want the card to be better. I want a big card. Potentially, I'm not sure at the main event at the minute, but there is potential there. Sen and Kelly, may step up to for a bigger fight, a bigger belt, or he may go back to 140 for his Irish title at 140.
Right.
There's people at that weight that would jumping at the opportunity, like Lee Reeves,
Yeah.
David Ryan. So now David Ryan has obviously gone off to fight for the British Celtic title at 140. So let's see how he does. But there's potential there. That may not even be the main event because there's others there now that have picked up Celtic titles. Paul Loomis picked up a Celtic title. We have an opponent agreed for him for October.
Yeah.
So we're going to propose an Irish title for Paul on that card. We just spoke about Richie will fight the winner of, well, if John Boyd comes through his fight, we'll be hoping Richie will fight John Boyd for the Celtic title.
Well, that's a great, great fight. You
Um,
know that.
yeah, if Glenn comes through the fight with James Freeman, which we're hoping he will, very confident he will. But if he comes through that, there is potential that we may look at the rematch with the Spaniard.
Right.
We won't rematch it for the Celtic title because we feel the fight is worth more than the Celtic title now. And if Glenn wins the Celtic title, there's no point going fighting for another Celtic title. So we may look at see if we can get a ranking belt in, and it could be because that was a war, that was an outstanding fight. A lot of people had that as their fight of the night, so we may rematch that one.
You nicked.
There's been there's
was going to say you nicked my next question or next statement, which is obviously Glenn, your brother, Glenn Byrne. He isn't fighting on your show, but he's fighting a week later in Galway on the
Yeah.
GBM show, live on the Zone. And he's got a BUI super welterweight title fight, hasn't he?
Yes, he boxed him against James Freeman. Both of them unbeaten.
Yeah,
Um, both. It's a good fight. It's a great fight. This fight started last year. The talk of this fight started last year.
yeah,
But forget all that. It's a good fight, and the good reason it's a good fight is it's not too purist. It's not too elite champions. It's not too heavily, decorated amateurs. It's two guys that never boxed amateur. One was a GAA player. One was a footballer.
yeah,
Both turned over to boxing. Had a couple of unlicensed kind of white collar fights. Both went pro, and both have built up. In my opinion, Glenn has had the tougher fights, but that's neither here nor there. Both of them, I think, are 5-0. Glenn is the draw as well, and they're getting a fight for the title. If you asked 2 years ago before they went pro, would they be fighting for titles? They wouldn't have been thinking they would have been fighting for titles. Go
um,
pro was a big enough dream. So I think it's a great fight. I think either one of them wins it, they've achieved more than they ever could have asked for. Um, Me and Glenn have done a lot of work since his last fight. We thought he won the fight against the Spaniard, but when we watched it back, I kind of looked at it and went, you know what? I think a draw was probably a fair result. You could have looked at it and given it to Glenn by a round, given it to your man by a round, but he didn't win it as comfortable as I thought he did on the night by watching it ringside.
yeah,
So back to the drawing board. We wanted to give a domestic fight to GBM for the card. It was nothing about ducking the Spaniard or anything like that, but to fly in the Spaniard, pay his purse, flights, accommodation, and all that stuff, it's too expensive. So now there was a cheaper alternative there, the same belt, and the same job at hand. So after that, we want the Spaniard because I want to fix that. I want to fix it. Glenn wants to fix it, and we know we can fix it. Glenn lost that fight on the night. Well, didn't win that fight on the night because he sat in the ropes for too long, and that's something that just just happened on the night. It did never happen in training, it never happened in sparring, but it happened on the night, and he knows we've trained differently for this one, and we've done it. I've taught him a lot on how to get off the ropes properly and things like that, and how to hold because he never once held in the fight when he should have. Just little things, clever little tricks, and that's another fight that we potentially will have in October as well with the Spaniard.
Well, one thing I like about Glenn, and I think I've seen every fight Glenn's had in person. His intelligence in the ring now, and his strength have just gone through the roof. If you put him in a an English environment over here, he'd be taking out a lot of these guys very easily. And for, like you say, a lad who doesn't have an amateur background, he's doing incredibly well, mate.
Yeah, and that's testament to him. His hard work, Jonathan. You know, he went over to Anthony Crullett off his own back.
Yeah,
I set it up with Anthony. He went over to do a week over there. That was off his own back. He covered his own costs. He covered his own everything to go over there. He just wanted to experience and see what the level was like over there to make sure he was training at the right level and all.
yeah,
And he went over there and he done a week with Anthony. And thanks to Anthony for that. Treated him like his own. And Anthony brought him to spar Jack Rafferty while he was over there. And he done really well in the sparring with Jack Rafferty. And then Jack Rafferty's team rang and asked Glenn, could he go back, and they'd fly him over, put him up and pay him to spar with Jack because the sparring was so good for Jack, which is testament to a novice. And he did it. He went back over and he done another week over there, 3 or 4 days or something over there, and he was Jack's last spars for not his last fight, the fight before that.
yeah.
And that's testament to who Glenn is and what he is. He's doing this off his own back. He's willing to go on his own. Like he flew over the first week that they call it on his own. He just went over. He put himself up in a hotel or an apartment. An apartment it was, and he went to Tesco's and he done a shop over there so he could prepare all his own meals while he was over there and training and things like that. He's done it all himself, and that's where he's at. That's the difference between lads getting there and not getting there. He hasn't got the ability that half of the amateurs had, but he has the commitment, the dedication, the hard work, and a couple of the traits he got that we obviously have in the family is he has a solid chin, and he has a set of balls, and
Yeah.
that to me in boxing goes further than most.
Well, I wish him good luck with his welterweight fight, and hopefully he'll be victorious, and you can set up that clash again in October. It'd be great to see that one, I think. I mean, mate,
100%.
listen, I know you played it down at the beginning of the chat, but to win the promoter of the year over there in Ireland in your first year, it really is a great accolade, mate. And I've seen your journey from the first show to where you are now. You've worked so, so hard. And like you say, there's been ups, there's been downs. It's tough financially when you're starting out, but you seem to have made it work. And, you know, you've got some good sponsors on board, I think, now that are helping with that. And you're starting to get recognized, not just in Ireland, but elsewhere, as a good promoter that puts on good fights. So, from us to you, mate, you've done incredibly well and congratulations. And please, please keep it going because we need fights and promoters like you.
Yeah, no, we're doing our best, and that's all we can do. I feel like we're knocking on the door all the time. Um, the plan is always to grow and grow and grow. Like I want our small shows to be in the national stadium
Yeah,
when the time's right. I'd be hoping next year that we'd be able to put on national stadium shows for small shows. You know what I mean? And not just always have the small ones and then go there to the big one. And that's the way I want to do it. I'm starting to get a bit of recognition for the work, I think, because I'm starting to get contacts in other promotions to help out if they're coming here, and
yeah,
just little things that I get contacted, asked about, opponents and stuff like that. So that's nice as well. But there's a lot of people to thank for that. It's not just me. Like Butch sits in the background, doesn't say an awful lot, but he's my right hand man, and without him I'd be lost. And then even there's other people, like I have a good relationship building with other promoters and other managers in the country, and there's trust there. Like Jamie Conlon come on board the last time and helped me out with getting the TV over the line, and we got the zone, and that was a dream to be on the zone. And I wasn't happy on the night with the when I look back with the footage quality. I didn't think the quality was near where it should have been for the zone, but we got it with a week's notice, and we hadn't got enough time to get a proper company in to run it, and we went with our team with the guy we had, and I know it wasn't to the quality the zone would have liked, but we're hoping again that we'll be able to get another opportunity with the zone, and we'll have a bit more notice, and we'll be able to bring in a proper company that they would recommend to
yeah.
shoot the footage and make it the quality that they need. And I think the fights we put on are worthy of TV. I've had other meetings in the last couple of weeks with broadcasters as well, and again, it's just getting the broadcaster. As I said to you earlier on, when you have a broadcaster on a card, the little niggly injuries and the little things, they seem to disappear. They don't seem to be exist
Yeah.
when they know the lads are going to be on TV. So maybe that's where, if we get a broadcaster of some level in, that's where they'll grow and take off. And again, it's just about growing the sport in this country and helping. Like this year isn't a busy year in Ireland. I think by this time last year we would have probably had in the country we probably would have had 5, 6 events already ran, and at the minute in the south we haven't. We haven't had many at all.
No.
So, but look, we just keep tipping away, Johnny, doing the best we can, and we're very grateful to our sponsors. We're very grateful to the people, and like people like yourself, and the likes of Stephen from All Things Boxing, and the likes of Johnny and Matt from Irish Boxing, because again, the media work you give us and the exposure we get from you, we wouldn't be known without us. So we have a good team behind us, and having the likes of you guys there to back us and help us with media and getting out there and selling our shows for us basically is priceless.
Well, coming and watching good fights is what it's all about, and you've got them, so why wouldn't we?
I appreciate that.
Listen, Belfast, it's 21st of June. Where can people buy tickets? I'm assuming there's a few still available if they want to come along and experience this.
Yeah, the fighters have tickets on the card, but if anyone wants to make it simple, they just come to the JB Boxing Promotions Instagram page, and the tickets can be bought there. Ticket links can be sent for card payment or Revolut payment or whatever it may be, and we can get the tickets posted out to them or left on the door straight away.
Well, we can't wait. We've booked our flights. We're coming over for another good night of boxing in Belfast. There's going to be a good
Sounds
crowd.
good,
I
Johnny.
know that world champion Anthony is going to come down as well. He's a local guy. He's got Barry McReynolds on there as well. Someone he tips greatly, as we said. And looking forward to the whole card. I really am. It's going to be a great night of boxing, Jay.
Appreciate that, Johnny, and thanks. It's a pleasure as always.
Right. Well, listen. Enjoy the rest of your week, mate. We really appreciate half an hour of your time in your busy schedule, and we will see you in Belfast, mate.
Yeah, see you then, pal. Thanks very much.
Okay, mate.